I'd like to take a moment and welcome our guests, both online and those viewing later on the video. The Business Builder Speaker Series is an idea that we came up with in 2020 during the COVID era. When we weren't able to get together in person, we said, let's get together virtually once a month, the third Wednesday every month. We'll bring on a great speaker with a topic that's valuable to our real estate agent community, give them tips and tricks to grow their real estate business. And we have done it the third Wednesday since, maybe April or May of 2020. We record our Business Builder Speaker series on Zoom. We post them to our YouTube channel. We link to them on our website, and we send out to all the registered attendees a link when the video is ready. That way you can review it. If you need to go back and pick up on anything, you can also share the link with others that'll benefit from our materials today. We know that you're busy. We appreciate you sharing your time with us on our Business Builder Speaker Series. To make the most of your time, we encourage you to ask questions. You're free to participate using the chat box. Skip, I'll monitor the chat box and let you know as we get questions. You're also welcome to just unmute yourself and ask out loud as we go through the materials. Would encourage you to stay connected with us. We're on all of the various socials listed here. And on our website, shafritz-dean.com, under the Resource tab, you'll find the Business Builder series with links to all of our videos on the YouTube channel. And by connecting with us on the socials, you'll stay up to date on our upcoming speakers, and you can register on our website. Just in case you've missed it, here's a list of the speakers we've had year to date, and all of these videos are available on our website. Mark your calendar. Our next Business Builder, today is August 19th at 10 a.m. Next month will be Wednesday, September 16th at 10 a.m. will be our next Business Builder speaker. Deborah Bettolotti, a broker instructor with Maximum One, will talk about why Hispanic buyers are the fastest growing segment in the real estate right now, and what does that mean for the rest of us and our business. And that'll be September 16th at 10 a.m. At this point, it's my great privilege and honor to introduce my friend Skip Wilcox from Kairos Sales Group. Winning more listings in any market. Skip, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let you take over from here.
All
But
right.
Skip, thanks for being our guest, and the floor is yours.
Very good. Very good. Well, Doug, thank you so much. I really appreciate you bringing me on here, giving me a chance to help the realtor community grow, improve, all the things. Y'all do an awesome job in all aspects. So I really appreciate this, and this is a great initiative. Give me 1 second. Make sure we can share. Yes, yes. Looks like we are good to go here. All right. You can see it, correct?
Yes, sir. Looking
All
good.
right, all right. So, yeah, like you said, time is kind of the essence. So we're gonna dive right into this. But if there are questions, comments, anything that you want, please put it in the chat. Or guys, this is informal. You're not gonna throw me off if you just unmute and be like, hey, 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 wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. All right. So please, please, please do that. I encourage the questions. I love the participation. All right. So today's topic, guys, is where are my referrals? Where are they? Where are they? I did a great job. So shouldn't they be coming in? I mean, right? So why do satisfied clients not always send business your way? And well, what can we do about it, right? What can we do about it? Now, before I dive into this really quick, in case you have any morbid curiosity about who I am, what I do, I've been in the mortgage business for about 24 years. I have started Kairos Sales Group about 5 years ago, and I train everyone in the mortgage and real estate fields from anything having to do with business development, sales, strategic planning, all that kind of fun stuff. And referral building is one of my favorite things to talk about because there is such a gap here, right? There is such a gap. So let's dive in. Here's the thing. You're like, hey, you hear this all the time. Hey guys, oh, y'all, you did such a great job for me, man. You just, oh, you made this process so smooth, so easy. I'm gonna send, yeah, I'm gonna send somebody to you, and then what do you get? You get crickets. You get crickets. So, raise your hand on the little emoji thing there and say, has this happened to you? I mean, I'm sure it has because it's happened to me. Yeah, Doug's like, yes, I know, absolutely, and it's true. It's true. It's a real problem. So let's see what we can do to make it a little bit better. So great service, guys. One of the things that I always train on, it's a no-brainer, but it always bears repeating. Anytime that you lead with or bring in, hey, we've got great pricing products or service. All right. I don't care if you're selling real estate, you're selling title and closing service, you're just selling mortgages. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Having all those things, quote unquote, be great. Hey, that's fine. But you know what that is? That's a barrier to entry. That's all that is. You got to have that to get in the game. Okay. So the great service piece, that earns you the right to ask, but it does not do the asking for you. The service you provide and the way that you go about it and getting that connection with your buyers, with your sellers, all that does is give you the stage. All right. So we've got to be sure that we understand it doesn't do the asking for us. It also does not obligate the other person to give you a referral, right? So the conversation here it creates movement. A client can still be thrilled and still need help to recognize the right person, the right moment, the easiest way to get you a referral, that kind of thing. All right. So let's be sure that that's the first step. That's the first step. All right. Satisfaction is not advocacy. Hey, satisfaction is a feeling, right? And hey, you know what? Nobody cares about your nobody cares about your feelings. But no, but seriously, so it's like, hey, yeah, they can literally sit there and say, "I'm so glad I signed on with you. I'm so glad that we picked you as our realtor," right? But happy guys is passive. Referring requires a little bit more in depth. It's a behavior because what you're essentially doing is you are connecting, whenever you give a referral, you are connecting your name to somebody else's. You're putting your own reputation on the line. So, yeah, I could be, and this is an extreme example. If I go to Target and I check out, you know, that's great. The cashier may have been nice, of course. Self-checkout's a little different these days, but you know what I mean. Cashier can be great. I can be satisfied, but am I going to be like, hey, guys, next time you go to Target, you got to go see Skip over there. He'll take real good care. No, because no, it doesn't matter. Satisfaction's a feeling. Feelings don't get us where we need to be. Okay, so we've got to be intentional. We got to be intentional, and the referral chain is a lot longer than most people think. All right. So let's look at this across the gamut here. So we've got the service you provide. You do an awesome job. That's the experience that you create, and that is the guarantee that you want to give to the person that you're asking for a referral from. All right. So they feel satisfied. They've got the feeling. They got the feeling. So all this starts. Hey, I got some trust. I trust Skip now. I've got confidence. But here's where the kicker comes in. Okay. There's also the recollection of, hey, all the stuff prior. So one, two, and three, you got to have it top of your mind. You got to be able to recall it, and then connect that to an introduction. All right. Most agents obsess over steps one and two, and they assume that the rest is going to happen. Okay. So trust may still exist, but it's going to stay dormant. It's going to be there in a state of just kind of the status quo. Nothing's going to, they need a trigger, a push, a catalyst to help make it easier for your name to retrieve and the introduction to feel easy and complete. Okay. So your referral conversation helps your clients cross from one, two, and three over to four and five. All right. So the conversation is really where we're going to focus. So good intentions fall into four referral gaps. Okay. So number one, the recall. They do not think of you at the exact moment someone needs help. Yep, because why is that? Well, we're going to talk about that. Clarity. Don't know which person or situation is the best fit for you, right? Not everybody is created equal. Some people get along better with others. Some people are better suited to other types of business, other types of buyers, right? All this kind of thing, has got to be taken into account. All right. Then there's the confidence factor. There's the confidence. They may be unsure how the introduction is going to reflect on them. And yes, we often think like, hey, I did a great job. Why would you be worried about how that is gonna reflect on you, right? We assume that's going to take place. So they're unsure how that's going to work when they attach their name to yours, right? And then there is a little referral gap when it comes to friction. Connection feels like work. So good intentions, guys, they stay good intention. I mean, they could say, yes, I am going to send you. I'm going to send you referrals. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great closing. Awesome job. I'm going to send you. They may genuinely mean it, but the mechanics don't work. The mechanics don't work sometimes. And this is really one part of a two-part referral talk. And the other piece goes into why the referral ask actually fails. This is going to be trying to close the gap and get you to actually being able to effectively take the action of asking. But the reality is that 91% of satisfied clients are willing to give you a referral. Okay. That's a very high percentage. That's 9 out of 10, guys. That's 9 out of 10. So why do so few people follow through? Well, what we're covering here, these gaps, these opposing forces are why. Are why, okay? So let's just be sure that we understand. Being remembered is not the same as being visible. Visibility without a relevant trigger is background noise. Okay, we've got to have the catalyst. Regarding the clarity, a broad request, guys, makes the client, makes them search their entire contact list. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Okay. The confidence piece of it. They are protecting the relationship with the person that they would introduce, right? There's something there. And then, of course, the friction, like we just talked about, even a willing client may not know what to say or how to connect you. Okay. So our job is to close these as much as possible. So a referral spins the client's reputation. All right. Before they recommend you, they're going to be asking themselves either outright or subconsciously, is this going to make me look smart, helpful, safe, stupid, bad? Don't know. Um, because whenever someone gives you a referral, it is oftentimes, and actually the majority of the time, somebody very close to them tends to be someone that they actually care about. Now, people love helping other people, right? And giving that connection to someone to help them out makes them feel good. But at the same time, they are putting a lot on the line, right? They're putting a lot on the line. So this is where that confidence gap really, really shows. It says, referring is not just, hey, sharing a phone number. The client is transferring some of their trust to you, right? So your process after the introduction matters. It matters as much as the language used to ask for it. It really does. Really, so responding quickly, making the referred person feel cared for, never making the client regret the decision, keeping everybody in the loop. There is a definitive circle of communication when it comes to referral building, right? If this is a side note, but if the person being referred doesn't hear from you quickly, and then the one who gave you the name, number, introduction, whatever, has to call and be like, "Hey, whatever happened with Skip, or hey, I talked to Skip and he said he hadn't heard from you. That's a huge loss. That's a huge loss. Very difficult to overcome that, right? But I hate to say it, it's very common. It's very common. We got to be real careful with it. Okay, so the usual referral advice that I hear out there is largely incomplete. It's not that they're bad ideas. They're not, but they're unfinished, unrefined ideas. So the goal with all these, again, not to become aggressive, not to become pushy, not to become quote unquote super salesy. You don't want that either, right? But instead, it's to provide enough clarity so the client can act on the good feeling that they already have. You're riding that high. That's exactly what you're doing. Okay. So, the usual referral advice, well, I let my work speak for itself. Okay. Well, that's great. I mean, I'm sure it does a little bit, but excellent work does not trigger a specific emotional feeling. Specific. Guys, think about this. We as real estate professionals, whether you're on the finance side or the real estate side, it doesn't matter. We know so much about these people. Whereas the mortgage folks, they know the nuts and bolts, right? They know everything from where they work to where they banked, where they have insurance. But you guys, you also have access to something that's a lot more, I don't want to say meaningful, but also a lot deeper. As a realtor, you have access to get to know these people on a deep emotional level. You see, hey, you know what? You get to visually look at it and say, hey, these people are establishing themselves here. They are moving. They're about to have a kid. You see it, you feel it. You get to know them in a lot deeper way. And so we've got to understand that if we don't utilize that knowledge, we're not really helping them or us, right? So another one here, who do you know? Well, that question asks the brain to search everybody, and that's frankly, let's be honest. The human brain is lazy. Okay, so if you don't ask the question the right way, who do you know? That's going to produce typically the same result. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let me think about it. Yeah, I'll get back to you with it. Or no, I really can't do that. Then you've got the classic. Hey, please keep me in mind. Please keep me in mind. Okay, well, what does that really mean? And anybody who has been in one of my trainings knows that one of the keystones of almost every single workshop that I do, every webinar I do, is say we've got to have clear, definitive timelines, actions, etc. Please keep me in mind. Doesn't help. There's no situation, no clear next step. Keep you in mind for what, right? Okay, so that just assumes that they know, and we can't assume. And then there's the generic monthly touch, top of mind without relevance. Yeah, it still fades into noise, right? Now, that said, I'm not going to diminish the effectiveness of, say, CRM activity or newsletters or outreach. It all builds on that law of familiarity, which says, hey, these little tiny interactions, touches, and exposures add up and make people think of you more often. But it cannot be the sole source of it, right? Great service, again, it still needs a trigger, a target, an easy handoff. Easy handoff. So again, these are not bad. They're just incomplete. Incomplete. So keep that in mind that if you ever catch yourself using some of these, be sure that you say, you know what, whoa, 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 maybe I need to refine this just a little bit. Okay. People don't refer categories, right? They refer situations, they refer scenarios, they refer stories. Stories are huge. Now, selling with stories is a phenomenal topic. I love talking about it. I'm hardly the only person that out there that does it. It's one of the more trendy things right now, especially in sales training. But the reason for that is because it's so effective. All right, they are going to refer situations that either they can relate to or that you specifically asked for. So, for example, a renter starting another lease renewal. Okay, that's a situation. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Before you renew that lease, have you considered buying? You should talk to Skip over here. He might be able to help you with this. Excuse me, a household running out of space, right? again, opportunity, job transfer, creating new commute, an owner ready to downsize, a family managing an inherited property. These are all very real, very legitimate. And this list can go on and on, can go on and on. We have to be sure that we are being specific to the situation so that that way, when someone else asks, no, excuse me, when you ask someone else for a referral, they are able to connect the dots. All right. Um, because, like I said, a category such as, hey, you know anyone looking to buy or sell is too big. It's too big. That situation is too much for the lazy human brain to take, right? And so we've got to create a better mental picture. So just I want you to think about one situation that you come across repeatedly in your own business. All right, think about that. And the best labels, guys, they come from actual client stories, not generic market segments. Okay, and make it relatable. Make it relatable. Say, hey, you know what? If you happen to see, I'm just throwing this out here. If you happen to see a lot of owners ready to downsize, use that when you're talking to somebody and say, hey, you know what? Actually, I just helped a couple very similar to you move from, 4,500 square foot house to a 2,000 square foot townhome, whatever. Liken it to this, right? So people also are going to be around other people who share similar life characteristics, right? Typically, folks with kids are going to know a lot of other folks with kids, the ball field, schools, churches, all that kind of stuff. Think about where they are and situations pertaining to that. All right. This is a big one, and I love this. Ask when confidence is visible. When confidence is visible, we want to ride the emotional high, like I said a minute ago, not on a scheduled basis. It's great to have a scheduled time. Hey, I'm gonna ask for a referral here. That's fine, but you know what? You got to be sure that you ride the high, and because what if you have it scheduled during a challenging time? Where maybe you're trying to overcome a hurdle during the process. That's not going to work. And I've got here says not mid-crisis. Yeah. If you stick to a schedule, you run the risk of doing that. What we want to do is ride the emotional highs because the process from when they first sign on with you to closing and thereafter is filled with emotional highs. You've got relief when an obstacle is resolved. Maybe there was a contentious item on the contract that they finally got resolved and y'all can continue. Celebration, keys are in hand at closing. Oh, that's fantastic. Hmm. Reflection, they're settled in. You call them up, say, hey, you've been in the house for 6 months now. How is it going? How's it going? Oh, it's fantastic. Hey, that's great. By the way, do you know anyone else in your department at work or wherever else that is looking to do something similar to what we did for you? All right. And then of course, relevance. Um, if you are updating where it's applicable and usable to your database, to your existing clients, to your past clients, huge opportunity there for referral asking. The best moment is emotionally clear, not merely chronologically convenient. Okay. That's the very dry technical way of saying, let's be sure we hit it at the top of the roller coaster and not on the way down. Okay. So, good moments include any kind of visible win, the relief, the emotional peak, the short term satisfaction and contentment, whatever it is. Keep that in mind. Keep your eyes and ears open for these. Because a lot of times we pass over lots of opportunities on the way to signing, and we've missed out on opportunities because we just simply say, I always do it at closing, no matter what. Okay, that's great, but you may have missed some other opportunities as well. Okay, so let's introduce clear. Not clear as in like, when you travel. All right, but let's make the referral clear. I'm a sales trainer, so I love me an acronym. Here we go. All right, so clear, connect. Connect it to a specific win. Label it. Label the situations that you solve. What's your value? What are you doing? What are you providing the other person? Okay. Eliminate the work that's required by the other person to think of somebody. Ask for the introduction. Say, hey, yeah, Bob Smith, I'll give you his information. Ask for the introduction. I appreciate that. Please connect us directly. All right. Ask for it. Okay. Um, and then reappear. This is after closing with relevance, and that way you also continue to earn the right to ask for a referral. So a practical referral conversation has got to take place. It cannot be a canned script. Now, I'm not a script guy. I'm much more of a framework man, which is why I've got this acronym and all my trainings are framework based. I don't like scripts because let's be honest, guys, what sounds right coming out of my mouth will not sound right coming out of Doug's or anybody else's, right? It's got to be specific to you. Got to be specific to you. So let's talk about each one of these just a little bit of detail here. Okay, so connecting to a specific win. Hey, I'm glad we found the extra room that you needed without blowing up the commute, right? You accomplished one of their goals. And this is how you did it. A specific win is going to remind the client why you're worth sharing. Okay. That win can be any kinds of things. It can be speed, certainty, reduced stress, great negotiation, avoiding a bad fit, finding a trade-off of something, right? This does a couple of things. One, it sounds human because, again, no scripts. And it reactivates the proof behind the client's trust. Okay. It uses the outcome they care about, uses their why and says, hey, this is your why. Okay. It's not a generic claim. It's not a generic comment. So that's the first piece. All right. Label the situations you solve. L. Okay. The label should be concrete, should be firm enough to create a face or a story in the client's mind. Okay. You don't want to say anybody looking to buy or sell. I will say this with one caveat. Asking that is better than not asking because if you do ask, that puts you ahead of the game. Okay. But we're not looking just to be ahead of the game. We're looking to be the best that we can be. So take the label and use it for the situation. Someone who knows their life has changed but has not decided whether a move makes sense. What is that? Well, that says, hey, maybe someone needs to do something. They're not sure if they need to rent, buy, whatever. Guess what? Opens up a phenomenal opportunity for you to advise your client, maybe even bring in your mortgage partner and say, hey, you know what? We all need to sit down and see kind of what's up. See what's up. All right. It could be any different thing. A um, a useful formula for this is the person plus the change plus the moment. All right, I guess I should, yeah. So you can see the equation there. A renter plus rising rent plus a renewal decision or growing family plus no space with a second child away. That's a very specific series of events. So again, label the situations that you can help solve for other people. Okay, so E, eliminate the work. Easier referral. 100% is a two-sentence group text. I love this. I love this. Okay. So, hey, Taylor, meet Jordan. Jordan helped us think through our move and made the process simple. Jordan, Taylor are starting to wrestle with a similar decision. Boom, you're done. It's a handoff. Okay. They don't have to write your biography. They don't have to copy and paste a testimonial. Let's not overcomplicate this. Okay. Um, the group text is, it used to be where it was an email introduction. Some of that still takes place. Group text is kind of the gold standard now. It's fast, it's warm, it creates permission for you to respond, take it off the group and go and start talking individually. Gives them language that describes the experience, not a big sales pitch. Because you don't want, as well-intentioned and well-meaning as it might be, you don't want the person to be like, so yes, Taylor, meet Jordan. He is he has been in the business for 27 years and has helped multiple families achieve the dream of home ownership. No, come on. Let's be real here, right? The client should never feel responsible for selling you. Okay, so let's make it easy. Let's make the handoff there. Ask for one introduction, not a list. Not a list. Now, this particular letter can be a couple of different things. So, is there one person in your world dealing with that right now? Okay. Well, do you feel comfortable putting us in a group text? Correct? It's voluntary, it's easy, right? One intro is cognitively way easier and socially safer than asking for, hey, can you give me a list of three people that you work with that might be interested in buying a home? That's a little weird, right? So the comfort language preserves kind of the agency piece of it. It's you pause after the question. You don't rescue the silence by talking over it. This is your ask. Then you shut up. You let them. Then you let them process and give you something. Okay. A no or not right now, guys, is not it does not mark failure. That is not saying that they didn't like working with you, that there's a damaged relationship there. You just simply accept it and move on. Okay. So that's an important distinction here as well. All right. Relevance. One of my pet peeves are corporate buzzwords. You know, 30,000 foot view, circle back, just checking in. Let's hop on a call. Hate those. Hate those. Sometimes I'll use them just to make a running joke to see how many I can put into one email or a text. But have an actual reason to contact. Home anniversary is great. Somebody that you think that they might be able to use for a service or homeowner resource, neighborhood change that they may or may not be aware of. Like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, hope you're enjoying the home. I just got some news that I thought you should be aware of. Did you know that there's going to be a Quick Trip being built right across the street from your neighborhood? Thought you might want to know that. So you can, have time to adjust accordingly or maybe move. A story about a client in a similar life situation, sharing it and reinforcing what you did for somebody is always going to help build that referral business up. Relevance refreshes the recall, guys, without making every touch an ask. All right, every touch is not an ask. Every touch should bring value, but it's not necessarily an ask. Okay, the follow up here is not you're not chasing the referrals. Instead, it's a continuation of a true useful relationship. It's all part of the shift from transactional to relational selling, right? Relevance gives the client a very fresh reason to think of you, and it creates a natural opening for another referral conversation. That's what this is all about, creating those openings. All right. So, what clear sounds like a natural conversation? Hey, I'm glad we found the space you needed without stretching the commute. We've talked about that one. Hey, I often help people who know life has changed but not sure what move makes sense. These are all good examples. Okay. Um, is there one person in your world dealing with XYZ issue right now? All right. There's not five robotic steps. You know, you can use the clear method in 30 seconds. I mean, it's super easy. The work is in the thought behind the words, not creating the words themselves. All right, choosing the win, choosing the situation, and identifying the easy next step. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. So I really encourage everyone on here to identify what line here or something similar feels natural to you, because that's going to be the step that you need to practice. And yes, you do need to practice this because you need to be sure that it doesn't sound awkward, it doesn't sound scripted. You need to think about it ahead of time. Got to be intentional. Now, as you get more and more used to it, yeah, you'll be able to start identifying this stuff quickly and be able to wrap it off. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. But until that time, put a little bit more thought into it. Jot your clear framework down. Write it out maybe and say, okay, these are my main points. You're not reading a speech. You're reading the note card with the highlights. All right. So it's different. It is different. And I really encourage you to do this. Okay. So I do this talk a lot of times with live groups. That's okay. We're not going to pair up, obviously, because we're virtual. But we want to rewrite the vague ask. So, if you're watching us on YouTube or if you're on the call today live, I want you to rewrite this. Hey, instead of saying, if you know anyone looking to buy or sell, keep me in mind. Okay. Again, that is better than not asking. Okay. It is. It will put you ahead. But let's do better. I want you to just jot down how you can rework this with you can name a win, label a situation, offer the group text, and then offer the introduction. Just I'm gonna pause here for about 30 seconds. Okay. Maybe not even 30 seconds, so we can avoid that awkward silence for too long. But I want to give y'all a chance to do this. I want to give y'all a chance to do this, okay? I feel like I need some hold music or something going. While you're thinking about this, I'm sure me talking is by no means messing up your thought process, but while you're doing this, while you're actually being more intentional, what I want you to do, like I said, whether you're on the call today or you're watching it on YouTube, I want you to email it to me. Let me look at it. Okay? And I can tell you if you've nailed it or not. All right? And we can get this nailed down together. All right? Okay. Hopefully you've got your rework here. If you want to share what you put in the chat, if you're on the call live today, throw it in the chat. You don't have to. But let's be sure that we're putting some thought into it and taking it from generic to applicable. All right. So being direct about the ask is not the same thing as being entitled. Now, a good request feels specific, voluntary, simple, connected to value. An entitled request feels like the guilting, the urgent, the complicated, hey, it's like, you owe me this. First of all, nobody owes you anything, okay? Much less a client. They don't owe you a referral. They don't owe you, okay? And we all know that, but I think we can all either think of a time we may have been guilty of one of those four things on the right, or seen it from somebody else. I know I have, right? And this is important to say because again, the referral is not a debt that the client owes you because you did an awesome job. The ask should feel helpful. Optional next step in a relationship that already has value, not, you really should do this because I did an awesome job for you. Or hey, all those calls I took from you at like 9, 10 o'clock at night when your wife was crying and I couldn't, and you weren't sure if you were going to be able to proceed or find a house in time or close this, and I was able to talk. Guess what? Because of all that, send me all your friends and family. It doesn't work like that, right? And so it's just you're never going to strong arm a referral successfully. You're never going to guilt it successfully and urgent. Good Lord. You know what? I get it. Sometimes the market's tough. You're looking down the barrel maybe of a goose egg one month and you're like, oh man, I've got to really get something in the pipeline. So you're like, hey, I need your best referrals right now. Who you got? Who you got for me? You know, listen, that stinks of commission breath, right? Nobody's going to respond well to that, right? We all know this. We all know this, but it just puts it in perspective. The fact that we can request it where it's personal, genuine, connected to value makes a world of difference. Okay, so as we're drawing to a close here, I want you to build the list around life situations, not your database alphabetically. That's not what I mean. But start to categorize your folks. So that way it makes it easier to do referral campaigns, referral asks. You can very, very easily do this. Takes a few minutes, but you can. Again, we're not going to ask you to blast out something to your entire database. We want you to have it segmented by lived client stories. A past client is a stronger referral source where their own experience connects to the situation being named. All right. Their story gives the recommendation credibility. It gives it credibility. We got something in the chat here. Let's see what we got. Oh, wait, no, it was just Doug. He's putting something in there. Okay.
I put a sample in there just to give you something to review and discuss.
Yeah. Remember our tagline? Everyone walks away happy. Okay. When you have a friend who is buying, selling, or refinancing a home, I would be honored to help them. Will you please introduce me to it in a group text? So yeah. The only changes I'll make to that right now, Doug, is say when you have a friend, say who is a friend, who is a close friend, who is somebody in your immediate family, who is somebody you work with, who is And I would say let's not hit buying, selling, refinancing all in one. Let's pick one at a time. Let's pick one
Okay.
at a time. Because like for example, I'm just going to throw out an example here. And guys, this is going to be a mortgage example. All right, so please forgive me. I hope this translates or you at least understand the point, right? But let's say that you refinance somebody for debt consolidation. They're paying off a bunch of credit cards or something like that. And a lot of times, if someone's feeling the stress, feeling that pressure of growing debt and cash being stretched, then they often share that with people who are close to them, can be trusted friends, family. I've seen this a lot, Sunday school classes, men's groups, that kind of thing, whatever the case is. And you know that because you've been talking to them, right? So you say, hey, Skip, is there somebody in your immediate family who I can help make their life a lot easier and help them sleep better at night the same way I did for you? Because that's one effective ask. Now you may ask something different later on because you're going to ask for referrals multiple times, but it narrows it down. It narrows it down. So yeah, Doug, I love these. It's great, absolutely. Um, but yeah, let's always try to make it as specific as possible. Just remember that we are all inherently lazy in our brains. So even the most brilliant of us, even the most brilliant of us are still inherently lazy. So um, I want you to kind of start building up, not a testimonial database, but you see here it says circle 10 past clients whose story makes you credible in one of those situations. You should, if you're doing it right, and this takes a lot of intention, takes some time, you should be able to identify as you're talking to your potential clients somebody that you've helped similarly and say, hey, look, you know what? I'm going to actually connect you with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think that they can tell you exactly what I did for them. Do you know what that does? Gives you instant credibility and somebody who trusts you already. So this is not about actually getting a referral at that point. This is actually solidifying the deal because they are getting firsthand knowledge of what you can do. So it's taking the referral game, kicking it up a notch. But again, that's kind of a different topic for a different day. But just keep that in mind. You can do that. You can do that. Okay. So as we kind of come to a close, let's look at this. I always like to leave folks with some actionable takeaways. So let's look at a 7-day referral reset. Okay, day one, you can make it today, you can make it Monday, whatever you want to do. Choose 10 clients, write down their specific win. Okay, then the next couple of days, send 3 messages to them using the clear language that we've talked about. All right, and then a couple of days after that, make a couple of calls. Offer that group text, right? Say, hey, can you introduce me via text for this? Then day 6 and 7, log and follow up. See how the effort's going. See how people are responding. See kind of where it's getting you. Measure the conversations and introductions, not the instant closings, not the oh man, yeah, so and so talked to me. They're about to go under contract. You got to talk to them right now. No, okay, come on, that's not realistic, right? So we want to keep the action plan intentionally not small, but achievable. Okay. 10 clients is enough to practice without turning the work into a big, huge campaign blast. The early stuff are conversations, introductions, and follow up permission. Then, closing is obviously your downstream income. And, it's all a part of a process. Okay. So, at the last slide here, guys, great work deserves more than client satisfaction. Make your next step with them clear. All right. So guys, I really enjoy this. I love this topic. If y'all have questions, comments, anything that you want to reach out to me after the fact, please do. I will say I've got my website up there. Full disclosure, it is being rebuilt, so there is actually nothing up right now. So if you need me, it's skip at kairossalesgroup.com. But with that, I will turn it back over to Doug. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Skip. I'm going to go ahead and throw your email in the chat window so that we
Okay.
will capture it for future. Skip at kairossalesgroup.com.
Mhm.
Um, It's in the chat window. Just double check I've got it correctly.
Yes, sir. That is me.
Wonderful. Before we break, Skip, I just want to throw it out. Anyone have any other questions or any thoughts on how you can apply what we've covered today specifically? Feel free to this is your opportunity to pick Skip's brain, um, ask for any clarification on anything you're uncertain about, or how you can put this in practice and help turn your great service into productive referrals.
No, no questions. It was just I really appreciated like your approach to things and making it genuine, human, and trying to build referrals around like the stories you're talking about and connecting it in
Yeah.
that way rather than just sales pitching it and it just comes across as very cold, very robotic, very AI, which I think
Yes.
we
Very
all need to
AI.
be
Yeah. Especially these days.
cognizant of going forward in the future. There's a lot of pushback against AI slop that's out there, and
Hmm.
people are getting turned off by the same poster that looks the same way every time and the same message that sounds
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
way every
Yeah.
time. Some people don't
That's it.
mind, some do. So I really appreciate how you're going about it in a way that I think is appealing and also just feels right for me and doesn't feel gross.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to feel like, that you're really trying to force them to do something. You're like, hey, I helped you. I want to help other people to
yeah.
make you feel like you're also helping them, you know?
Exactly. And despite like I might feel earnestly that way, like I'm really
Yeah.
not, I'm trying to just help people, but my communication might not come across that way. And it's all about how
Hmm.
it comes across and
Yeah,
lands for that person.
100%. Yeah, you got yeah. Then that's why I came up with this framework. It
Right.
helps take the qualifiable and give it something that you can actually measure.
Love it.
All right, Skip, thank you again.
Yes,
I'm going to go
sir.
ahead and
We'll stop share there. All right, there we go.
I'm going to go ahead and throw this one back up. Again, Skip, thank you for being our speaker today on a topic that I know our viewers today will appreciate and be able to use, and those that follow us on the YouTube channel will catch up with later. And I want to thank all of you for joining us today for our Business Builder Speaker Series. We encourage you to apply what we've covered today, go out and learn and grow. And we wish you all the best in your real estate endeavors at Schaefertz and Dean. We are always happy to help you with your next real estate closing. And remember, we're here to make sure everyone walks away happy. That's our tagline. I'm proud of it. Not a lot of attorneys get to say that.
Yeah, very
Thank you
good. Doug,
again.
I had a lot of fun doing this.
I appreciate you being our guest today, Skip. Thank you very much. And thanks everyone for joining us today. Have a great day, and we'll look forward to catching you on Wednesday, September 16th, 10 a.m. on with Deborah Bettolotti on reaching the Hispanic market and why it's the largest growing segment in our real estate industry and how that information can be useful and beneficial to you. Have a great day, a great week, and we will catch you next time.
All right.
Thank you.